Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It's the Playmaker of our podcast, NFL edition. Or do we got some things to talk about this week?
Gang.
Before we get started, you already know. Darnell, the Playmaker Dallas Glenn is here with me. Say what's up, Dallas.
Yes, sir. What's up?
Coach T is in the building as well.
All right. How y'all feeling out there?
Now we're going to change some things up a bit. Instead of us giving you our own individual takeaways, we collaborate and came together with our together takeaways from week one. And we're going to start off with the biggest one. Dallas, what's up with these Roughing the Passer Penalties?
Me and Darnell were talking. I'm trying to figure out when Clay Matthews first switched to the inside linebacker position, I could have swore he got quiet. And that wasn't his fault. That's just the nature of the 3-4 scheme. But now Clay Matthews looks like he's the best pass rusher in the NFL because he's getting penalized literally every week. The Miami Dolphins literally lost a defensive end for the season because he was trying not to put his body weight on the quarterback and blew out his ACL. It's getting to the point where how is a defensive end supposed to have a contract here nowadays? Darnell, I'm going to throw it to you. You just paid Aaron Donald all this money. You're paying Ndamukong Suh all this money for a year. You have this defense where a lot of your work comes from getting to the quarterback. We're not going to lie and say Aqib Talib ain't older. We're not going to lie and say Marcus Peter isn't benefiting from this pass rush. But what's going to really go down when the Rams play these big marquee games that we know they're going to play against these big marquee quarterbacks and the referees protect the moneymakers?
We're going to get into that. But, Coach T, I want your help. So, when they made this rule, right? Why did they make this rule?
Well, the intention to the rule is to protect our players and out there, and especially the quarterback. They want to protect the quarterback because they believe the concussion level, the protocol, and the longevity after effects of after football. They want to, with the scientific method, they want to bring that to a lower amount of numbers. So the idealistic is to save the lives and health longevity of the quarterbacks. But at this level, I really believe that they're going to have to readjust and reevaluate it because it's causing more harm than it does fixing the problem.
Okay. Follow me if you will. What quarterback got hurt last year?
Aaron Rodgers, collarbone.
Against the Vikings, right? Because Anthony Barr fell on him while he was tackling him when he was outside the pocket throwing the football, right?
Indeed.
Okay. Clay Matthews, as you said, has been penalized for roughing the passer every game he has played this season, right? So, ironically, the rule that's killing Green Bay is the rule that was put in place because of their quarterbacks.
Ooh.
Am I missing something?
No, that's exactly what happened in that order.
So, as Dallas like to say, Clay Matthews is probably the most gentlest tackler of a pass rusher there is in the NFL.
I don't think he's hurt anybody.
But he hits Alex Smith, who has the ball in his hand and not throwing it, and he still gets flagged for roughing the pass. So you're telling me, as a fan watching the game, who also played the game to a degree, that even if the quarterback has the ball, I have to tackle him a certain way? Is that what we're doing now?
Yeah.
I can understand high school. I can understand Pop Warner. To a degree, I could even understand college. But the NFL, you are more than making a choice to play a game with serious health ramifications. You can't tell me that a guy who has played Pop Warner, a guy that's played middle school, a guy that's played high school, a guy that went through the rigors of college life as a college student while still sacrificing and playing college football, gets to 21, 22, 23 years old, and then says, you know what? The NFL did this to me. I'm one of a million people, and I'm making six figures a year minimum. And I'm an employee, so the taxes are already being taken out. And I'm still coming away with six figures minimum. But this is the NFL's fault. The NFL should protect me.
Well, I tell you who didn't need protection, Drew Brees, because that missed tackle on him for a 6-yard run for a touchdown because of poor tackling. They need to throw a flag on that because it was a horrible defense. What was Brian Poole with Atlanta Falcons? Oh my God.
Dallas, listen to this. Drew Brees put the defenders in a spin cycle.
I'll give you one better. Josh Rosen hurdled a linebacker on the best pass defense in the league.
Again, Minnesota. This was Minnesota's defense.
Dude, look, we can joke and we can key about it. 3 years ago, Drew Brees and Josh Rosen would have got lit up and put on the bench.
Oh my goodness.
I'm glad you said it because guess what? We finna transition into the rookie quarterbacks. 4 rookie quarterbacks are starting this week.
Yep.
We still love you, Lamar. You'll get a shot. We believe in you.
Coach T, I'm gonna let you have this one. Talk about the rookies that's finna start this week.
Well, enter in Baker Mayfield. Tyrod Taylor, man, like I said, it was long and endeavored to happen. He didn't make it. He didn't make it all the way through up to the second half, right to the second quarter, entering Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield comes out second half firing. That boy threw for over 200 yards.
By the way, hold on. Before you continue, Coach Steve Dallas, what did we say about Baker Mayfield? He just wins, right?
That boy's a good football player. That boy can throw that damn ball. Good. That boy can throw that damn ball.
That boy is good.
Cleveland won, by the way, if y'all didn't realize.
1-1-1, a better record than the New England Patriots.
Look, the boy got Cleveland to their first victory. Congratulations.
Dallas, because I don't think they heard you.
1-1-1, a better record than the 1-2 New England Patriots of Boston.
It sounds like Sean Diddy Coles right there, public enemy number 1. 1. Oh my goodness! But yeah, congratulations, Cleveland Browns, man. They earned that one, man. I know they celebrated like they won a Super Bowl. It was magnificent. I was celebrating with them.
And third, Josh Rosen. Coach T, you asked for it. Arizona heard you.
Absolutely, man. Josh Rosen. It was definitely an inevitable time. Sam Bradford has expired. Okay, he's like spoiled milk. Okay, his due date. You need to go and open his joint up and pour it down the drain because he's out of there. You know. So go ahead, put the fresh guy in there. But you still got to protect them. You got to protect them and give them a better opportunity to win some ball games. But I think with the new excitement of this game coming up here next week, Arizona and Seattle, NFC West Division game, I'm looking to see some numbers put up by Josh Rosen. At least 250 yards, maybe one interception. But I want to see at least 2 touchdowns for the guy. And that'll put Arizona in a better way. And I believe that'll stump Seattle if Arizona walk away with that victory.
Sam Donald been starting. We'll get it. Dallas will get into him because he's gonna talk about the Jaguars and they surprising. Well, not surprising, but
yeah, we'll talk about the lack of surprise me and Darnell had.
Well, but you can't forget about the most important.
That's one
starting quarterback out there right now. Don't you forget about him.
Allen. First start in Minnesota. Go see, tell the people what he did in Minnesota.
Man, last week Josh Allen did a phenomenal leap over the quarterback. I mean, the boy showed heart. I mean, that's what he definitely wanted to do. He wanted to go out there and try to win games. Josh Allen went out there. He threw for 200 something yards right there. Oh, I got to pull that back up. But yeah, Josh Allen, man, I'm definitely excited about Josh Allen, but I'm not necessarily sold on the whole Buffalo Bill package. So coming up in this week, you'll be a fool not to pick Green Bay against Buffalo.
Oof. Dallas, what you got to say about that performance in Minnesota?
Last year, the Buffalo Bills made the playoffs with a sorry team. 2 linemen that are about to retire, but they had a quarterback that was just decent enough to get them 9 games. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that Josh Allen might be a tad bit better after a few games than Tyrod Taylor. We don't have to buy into the whole Buffalo Bills package. Me and Darnell don't really believe that 9-7 can sneak into the 6th seed this year in the AFC. But that game against Minnesota, I don't know whether losing Vontae Davis, I hope that he retiring doesn't hurt against their cap. I hope that they can figure out that math or whatever. All I know is that the core of that team from last year is still there. The boy has a big target to throw to still. I don't buy into the Buffalo Bills as a playoff team. The playoffs last year.
Me and Dallas did our preview, and we looked at the AFC. This is about the whole division, including Buffalo. We said the Jets. No, they might show signs of better, but no. Buffalo, hell no. Miami, we'll see. Ryan Tannehill's gonna be back. We'll see. We'll hold judgment. But it's New England. I mean, it's the Patriots. They win it just about every damn year. It's like, but then last week happened. Josh Allen went into Minnesota and dropped 27 on the Minnesota defense. And Kirk Cousins on the other side only put up 6.
Franchise.
Now, I'll dive into that a little more about the Kirk Cousins and Minnesota side when we get into the week. Then you go down to the Jets. Okay, it's the Jets. But I think they picked the wrong time to come to Jacksonville. And then you get to New England. You know what? Let me be the first to say Detroit. I apologize because goddamn. You didn't just punch New England in the mouth. You punched the 3 of us and the rest of the world in the mouth.
Well, I mean, you kind of figured it was set up. It was set up for them to be successful. It was just totally on them. With Matt Patricia being the head coach, but prior to defense coordinator for New England Patriots. I mean, you kind of had to figure that he had Patriots number to a T. He just had to execute it on the field. So I don't see that as a surprising game. Most people, it was a hard to pick game. I still went with New England, but I was glad with the outcome of Detroit winning.
Detroit had a 100-yard rusher. For the first time in, I don't even remember how long.
Long time.
Carrying on Johnson ran for 100 yards. That we found out Patriots got more problems than we think.
But we have to remember one crucial thing. It's September.
It
If
is.
you look at the Patriots the past couple of years and you look at their final records, it's usually 13-3, 14-2, 12-4. Man, the vast majority of those losses happened in September. The Patriots always got somebody suspended because of some scandal. The Patriots always got people coming off an injury. The Patriots are always trying to figure out how to put in some new wrinkles and some new schemes because receivers can barely learn that side adjustment offense. It's September. Now, that Detroit loss is bad. I think it even has people like Bill Belichick having cause for concern. But we have to remember, their best receiver isn't even playing right now. Their true best receiver probably won't play till like week 12. It's early.
It's
I mean, me and you, Darnell, we figured that Miami would compete for the division. And in order to compete for the division, don't they have to be up at least a week or two? I mean, to truly compete, don't they have to be up every once in a while?
We'll get into that game, but real quickly, I want Coach T to give us a real quick talk about Carson Wentz.
Ooh, boy, oh boy, oh boy. Well, the king is back. Carson Wentz, absolutely. He went out there, man, and did his thing, held in there, went through the whole game. I didn't see him being pressured too much, even though he did have one interception. He had one fumble. He went out there and threw for 255 yards and a touchdown. You understand what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. That boy looks good. Glad to have him back on the field, and we're looking forward to taking over Tennessee this week.
And the last thing we're gonna get into before we get into these picks real quick, Dallas wants to address Jags Nation.
Looking at the first 4 games of the schedule, if you are a fan of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I don't mean somebody who just hopped on for the past, no, if you've been a fan of the Jacksonville Jaguars since at least 2007, you cannot tell me you looked at the first quarter of the schedule and thought New England was the most important game. We all should have expected our first loss of the season to come to the Titans. It was literally written perfectly. Big win and a big receiver cornerback matchup. Show the Patriots that we are a legit team. Show the NFL that we are a legit team. And then the team that's had our number for years now. You can't tell me you're a hardcore Jacksonville fan and you don't understand the thorn in our side that the Tennessee Titans have been. Let's just be happy that it happened early so that we can knock out a team like the Jets and not later in the season when the division's really on the line. Tennessee, Blaine Gabbert's in concussion protocol. Marcus Mariota had to beat the Jaguars hurt and didn't throw for a touchdown. Tennessee's not going to beat teams in the general NFL. Most of their wins are going to come from the division. Just remember that for your freak out and say the season's over and that we're in trouble, because we're not.
See, this is what Coach C wasn't around when we did this, but we said the game in the circle was the Tennessee game. That's the game in the circle.
You talking about last week or this week, Tennessee game?
Last week.
Oh, okay.
We said all the things y'all did, you couldn't beat Tennessee twice last year.
And you did a lot.
You came in, you beat the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
The city's running high. You dropped 31 on the Patriots. 4
passing touchdowns and a field goal. Didn't even need the running game.
And then you came back and scored only 6 points.
Only passed for 155 yards. No picks, but 155 yards.
Tennessee had 9.
One more field goal.
It was just like, it got to a point where men was like, this is what we talked about. This is what we actually said.
This is pretty much going to be the AFC South because Indy. Indy's Indy. They have bigger issues to worry. It may sound weird to NFL people, but Indy has bigger issues to worry about than trying to compete for the division this year. They need to figure out if they need to draft a quarterback.
And with that being said, let's go ahead. Let's roll through these games real quickly. And kicking off the week is always Thursday night football. And oh my goodness. Thursday night football is finna heat up now. Now it's gonna be on Fox along with NFL Network. Mm-hmm. And where they starting at? In the city of angels. The Minnesota Vikings, who I'm pretty sure are really pissed off because they got punched in the mouth by Buffalo. Taking on the Rams. These two teams met last year in Minnesota. The game was so good. The third quarter, fourth quarter, Minnesota took over. So don't let that score fool you 24-7 because they scored 17 in the fourth quarter. Now, Rams Nation, I'm going to be real with you. We're not going to have Marcus Peters. We're not going to have a key to lead. Insert Sam Shields. Insert Nikhil Roby-Coleman.
Hot damn.
So, secondary's banged up a bit. Minnesota's banged up a bit too. They hoping Dalvin Cook can play. After setting out last game with a hamstring injury.
And last season with ACL.
Kirk Cousins, he's been set quite a bit already. Now, that's good for that Vikings offensive line, man. You going to LA to take on this defensive line.
But the penalties, Darnell.
Then we flip it to the real matchup. It's the Vikings defense versus the Rams offense. Do I dare say that the Rams is the only team in the NFL that is top 4 in scoring offense and scoring defense?
I mean, we could look that up. It's not really got to be a guess.
Dare I say the Rams have continued to pick up where they left off on the offensive end? Dropping 30 whenever they feel like it?
Mm-hmm.
But it's the Vikings defense. And they're not going to mercilessly give up that many points like they did against Buffalo. These points that we going to score, it's going to be earned. Every point we score going to be earned against this Vikings defense. But with that being said, last year, we didn't have a Brandon Cooks. Last year was Cooper Kupp first year in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Last year was Robert Woods' first year with the LA Rams.
Mm-hmm.
Jared Goff was in his second year with Sean McVay and that offense.
Completely different quarterback.
Y'all want to call me being biased? Go ahead. But the stats prove it. There's no way I'm going against my Rams.
I ain't picking Minnesota with that quarterback.
Coach T, what you got?
Well, this game right here, man, is almost like a slam dunk, man. I mean, the Rams is firing off all cylinders right now, dude. Come on. Jared Goff, man, he went out there and threw 354 yards last week, 3 touchdowns. Come on, dude. That's pretty great. That's pretty great. I mean, it's some great numbers. No reason why they're 3-0 right now. You know, LA Rams want to keep on riding that West. You know, Minnesota, they stunned right now. You know, like when you get hit and you see them birdies and like tweet. Man, they ain't got no Dalvin Cook, man. You know what I'm saying? Man, Kirk Cousins, they stunned right now. Going on the road on a short week after that loss, man, I see Minnesota losing again, buddy. LA Rams all day.
Darnell, the only question I would ask is, do you think before and even now, did you legitimately think that the Rams would go undefeated?
Oh no, we ain't talking all that. You know, one step at a time, okay? Right now,
He's talking about.
You know, congratulations.
That's what he's talking about. Honestly,
I mean, we gotta start looking at the rest of the schedule, you know. But let's take it one step at a time, you know.
It wasn't that happened, but now we finna get into the real part of the season now. Here comes Minnesota. Now we finna get in. Now we finna start.
Yeah,
now my boys can start show what they really is.
Minnesota right now. Minnesota ain't what we thought they were. You know, they're not what we thought they were.
Oh,
you know
it's only the first quarter. It's September. It's September.
But they're suffering. They don't have Dalvin Cook. They don't have a running game right now. You know what I'm saying? They're relying strictly on air. That's going to be a one-dimensional game. It's not going to work. Minnesota is stunned right now. They're seeing birdies. You know what I'm saying? So they got to wait, and they got to wait till they get Dalvin Cook back so they can open up the run game again. Or Latavius Murray going to have to step up. But right now, like I said, they're stunned right now. So, yeah, the LA Rams is going to win this one. Absolutely. Because of a stunned Minnesota Vikings offense. They are not what we thought they was. They have not, you know what I'm saying, met their expectations thus as the week 4 has come upon.
You know, I disagree with you because if last week showed me anything, with all the craziness that happened last week, you'll get punched in the mouth one week and you come back and you'll do the punching the next week.
Exactly. It's the NFL. Every team has the best 53 players in the world available to them. So we're not going to sit here and say in September that the Patriots are done. We're not going to sit here in September and say that the Minnesota Vikings aren't who we thought they were. This is really the Minnesota Vikings' first real game, too. I mean, Aaron Rodgers was hurt, and they're going to play Green Bay again. So it wasn't really a test. If anything, both teams escaped. The Packers especially escaped having a tie. The reason why I asked Darnell this question is because if you don't think that your team is going to go undefeated, you have to look at the schedule and say which teams are going to give you that L. Nobody's going 16-0 this season.
This is one of the first games as a Rams fans we circled. We got to play New Orleans. We got to play Philly. Somewhere in the division, we might get caught. But you know, we weren't going undefeated. I know that. Come on, we playing every powerhouse team in our conference.
And you're not supposed to pick against your team. That's the thing. Nobody's going to ask Darnell to pick against the Rams. That's why I have to ask him in this way. Because if you think your team's going to go 13-3, the 3 has to come from somewhere.
Trust me, this is one of the games that will circle. Trust me, Minnesota might be some, but they finna come in. They finna come in with a mindset. Last week wasn't a number. That's not how they normally play.
And again, I say it time and time again. Film.
Being stunned and being, you know, in your feelings from last week.
Just took all the heart away.
ATL. What? A very crushing loss.
Mm-hmm.
You lost a game where Matt Ryan went off. Calvin really had almost 20 yards receiving and 3 touchdowns.
Oof.
What Drew Brees stole the show. Insert Cincinnati. We're on the road again at another NFC South opponent. After getting whipped by Carolina when Chris McCaffrey almost ran for 200 yards. You know, Dallas, I'm going to give you this one first because I have to think on this.
Dude, it's the injuries. Like, it's like we said before. Like, dude, it's September. If your team is healthy, I'm not talking nicked up. I'm saying if your team has the star players good enough to walk out there and play, it's September. It is what it is. Everybody has a shot right now. And only a few people are 3-0. Even fewer teams will be 4-0. However, the Atlanta Falcons have already lost starting defensive backs, starting offensive linemen, and their running back is already nicked up and missing time. That's only going to get worse. When you have 4 starters injured, 3 done for, that's different. I said last week, I picked Atlanta because that was a game Atlanta needed to win because it was only going to get worse from there. Clearly, I was proven right Because even though everything went their way, Drew Brees was Drew Brees. It's funny because when you look at the Saints roster top to bottom, then you looked at the Atlanta Falcons roster top to bottom before the injury started. Atlanta and Carolina were probably supposed to be competing for the division. But in the NFL, quarterbacks win games. And they really win close games. So now, even though Matt Ryan, quarterback to quarterback, is better than Andy Dalton, is the team better than the Bengals? They're not. It's about to be a long season for Atlanta.
That's one for Cincinnati. Coach T.
Well, when you're live and in the building of the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, that intensity is so electrifying, it's so energizing, so vivid, it's so pumped up inside of that Mercedes-Benz Stadium. The Falcons' fury rising up was definitely in the building. Matt Ryan actually went out there and performed a hell of a performance. He threw for 374 yards and 5 touchdowns. His number one top receiver wasn't from Julio. It was Calvin Ridley, the rookie. You're right. He went out there and 7 receptions, 146 yards, and 3 touchdowns. He almost had 4. I don't know how many ways you can lose a game in the end. I even sat back and watched the game on NFL Network again, and I still don't understand how they lost. But only thing I can say is because of piss poor tackling. This is what we tell our youth. I tell my youth football teams, my middle schoolers, wrap up. Work together. You hit high, I hit low. Wrap them up. And let Drew Brees just spin move. A spin move. What does this matter? And whether it was second down, third down, whatever down, you play defense. You stop him there. He was on the 6-yard line when contact was created. I don't know what else to say, but you lost because you're good at losing. They need to get it together. They got the best firing offense out there. Devontae Freeman may be back this week. If I had to pick, and you know, I do, I'm going to pick them dang Falcons to pull it off and continue the NFC South sweep over Cincinnati.
You know, yep. Both safeties are going for Atlanta. Don't know the status of Dante Freeman. Matt Ryan is getting in the end zone. Cincinnati did some looking. AJ Green's banged up. I ain't know that. They don't know his status for this game. Joe Mixon. They said Joe Mixon might be out for this game. So we got to get the ball to James Bernard.
Yeah. He has 61 yards for a touchdown.
And even if Dante Freeman doesn't play, Trevor Cole ain't no slouch. He gave up a 200-yard game to Christian McCaffrey. Coleman and Freeman are bigger than McCaffrey. I'm sorry. Cincinnati, y'all going to take this L. Y'all going to take this L. Despite the injuries Atlanta got, y'all going to take this L. Real quickly, because if Winter starts or if Fitzpatrick starts, does Khalil Mack destroy the whole Buccaneers game plan?
Absolutely. Chicago defense. Oh my goodness. Hey man, that dude is a one-man army. He's a one-man wrecking ball. I'm trying to tell you, he's coming for Ryan Fitzpatrick. Ryan Fitzpatrick better get that ball out of his hand in less than 2 seconds because Khalil Mack is coming straight up the middle for him.
Guys, you got Chicago?
Yeah. I mean, dude, this is the end of Jameis Winston's suspension, right?
Yep.
I mean, Has there been any word?
No word yet.
What you mean?
They told both quarterbacks who's already going to start, but they're not going to tell the public.
Man, you want me to tell you? Do you want me to tell you? Bye, Jameis. Okay, that boy is gone. Okay, he good as sitting down. You heard what he said. Whatever role that Winston will play, I guarantee he'll give it 100%. You know, he is good in the locker room, and we're glad to have him back. What does that tell you? That boy going to be in the locker room, prepping up, sweeping up, getting the ice baths ready, getting the water, okay? He's going to be good in the locker room. You want me to tell you that?
Darnell, clearly Titus has a strong opinion, but let me tell you what happens in college football and the NFL. Ryan Fitzpatrick had a great 3 games. The best 3-game stretch in NFL history. Not even in a backhanded compliment, it's the truth. The number 1 overall pick is back, though. So the moment Ryan Fitzpatrick has 2 picks in the first half, the moment that Bucs offense doesn't have the same magic, you know what the GM's going to do? You know what the head coach is going to do? They're going to panic. They're going to panic because, it's Ryan Fitzpatrick being Ryan Fitzpatrick. This is what Ryan Fitzpatrick does. At least he spotted us a 2-1 record, put the franchise back in. Darnell, you can't tell me that's not what's going to happen because why do we have 4 rookies starting this week? It's literally the same concept. They say one thing, and then a half of football goes bad, and then the franchise quarterback is back in.
I know this. The first time with Monday Night Football, Pittsburgh was getting turnovers.
Oh, Jameis Winston would have been in if it was.
Ryan Fitzpatrick did throw 3 interceptions. Don't get that twisted. But you're forgetting what he did do. For 3 weeks straight, the man has thrown for 400 yards. Not near nada. There ain't a near nada quarterback out there right now that has done that. Okay? And he threw 3 touchdowns. They almost won that game at the end. If it wasn't for Juju making that last catch to seal the deal, because they was on that 3rd down. What you talking about? The boy, he's hot. He's a vet. He's consistent. You'll be a fool. It don't matter who starts. Not to start Ryan Fitzpatrick.
It don't matter who starts.
It don't matter who starts. But
the Bears.
Chicago will walk away with that one because it will be a Chicago defense game. A little bit chilly. They got some weather. I think they may got some weather coming through. Some nice weather pattern coming through on by next week. So Tampa Bay will be hit with some weather challenges. So I'm still going with Chicago.
Real quickly, I'm pretty sure I know what Titus is going with, but Dallas, real quickly, Carson Wentz or Mariota?
Oof, Carson Wentz. Mariota's playing hurt, dude. Like he's playing hurt. He wasn't even supposed to play last week. Like, yeah, dude. Blaine Gabbert, this is literally the perfect example of why you want a Ryan Fitzpatrick on your team as the backup. Because now Mariota has to play hurt because Blaine Gabbert's still in concussion protocol against a very, very good Eagles team in defense. This is what I meant by you shouldn't freak out about a loss to the Titans because they're not going to beat teams outside the division. I got Philly.
This is interesting. Carson Wentz, Mariota, battle down in Nashville. 2 teams with good defenses, so pretty much both quarterbacks could be struggling because Carson Wentz is still trying to get his rhythm back. So this could be an ugly game. This is it for all the old school NFL people. Last week it was the Jags and Titans kind of game that y'all like. I'm saying this one's gonna be that type of game too. Ain't gonna be no high scoring. It's gonna be old fashioned fist fight. Who wants it more? And I'm gonna think Carson Wentz when it comes down to it. We'll find a way to put it off on the road. I'm pretty sure Coach C is going Philly, right?
Well, when I look at this game, man, I think of actual Nintendo. Okay, we're playing a game. Yep, we're playing Mario Brothers. You got Marcus Mario, okay, versus the Luigi Carson Wentz. Okay, man, I am definitely the Luigi fan. All right, you know what I'm saying? Luigi Mansion, all that good stuff, man. Hey, man, green all day. Fly, Eagles, fly. This is not even no real competition. Carson Wentz is heating up. We're going to go down there and flame a Tennessee Titans defense. Mariota, he's struggling. He's hurt right now. That defense is going to crush him. Trust me. Philadelphia Eagles is not even going to be a competition against these guys. Philadelphia Eagles, we flying high all day.
Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
New England's 1-2, right? What's Miami record?
3-0.
New England is what?
2.
Miami is undefeated?
Yeah, Miami undefeated.
So if Miami goes into Foxborough and beat the Patriots, they'll have a 3-game lead on the Patriots.
Darnell, do you remember the question I asked you earlier before I was so passionately interrupted? Did Miami Dolphins fans really think the 2018 edition of the team was going to go undefeated?
I don't think they did.
I don't think so.
But we're here.
But we are here.
Go undefeated. And guess what? It's September.
But guess what, though? They still don't have Julian Edelman.
They just got stomped by the Detroit Lions. New England, if this happens, Darnell, if this were to happen, New England is 1-3, and the Dolphins are 4-0. The New England Patriots, with Belichick and Brady still at the helm, will be 3 games down, with a young Buffalo team finally maybe finding the quarterback that can win them some games. And it's not like they're just chasing Miami and they're chasing the other teams are going to win more games. You have a New England that's clear 4th in the division.
Are you picking New England?
Yeah, I'm picking New England because of what happens.
Coach T, this is the last game of Julian Edelman's suspension. As we can see, without Edelman, that offense struggles. Mightily struggles.
And it struggles.
Well, let me tell you something, man. That was a great game. It wasn't a good game, but it was a great game for the Detroit. I was like I said, totally shocked and amazed. I couldn't believe what I was watching. On the same note, I don't think never in history that the New England Patriots has ever lost 3 games in a row. That's scientifically incorrect as opposed this was supposed to be. Now, yes, any given Sunday, but on this Sunday, I don't see Miami, even though they are 3-0, going to New England, when this being a division game and New England not pulling out all the tricks in the book to make sure that they walk away with this victory. I'm going New England.
Wow. This one. Never thought the Jags would be the first one to go down as the undefeated team in Florida. But it happened.
Yeah.
I felt that Pittsburgh would get Tampa Bay their first one because they had to.
They literally had to, or else that locker room would have been in shambles.
But Miami is undefeated. The only Florida team undefeated.
Hey, and say what you will, Tannehill's been the franchise quarterback.
Yeah.
Never been a word.
Playing great football. But you're going to Foxborough. Titus is right. New England don't lose too many games in a row. It was a problem. It goes back-to-back games in a row.
Right.
Now they're looking at fourth in the division. That's the biggest thing.
Is it possible the New England Patriots, kings of the AFC, drop 3 games in a row and be 3 back from Miami? Oh, I hear everybody not acting like Stephen A. Smith. That's blasphemy. That's asinine.
Big words.
No way. What? Are you serious? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you, I'm doing it. New England loses 3 in a row.
Had to happen sometime.
Sorry. Miami's looking good. Now, let's get to the 4 o'clock game of the week. And there I say, will we have another shootout with Drew Brees? Instead of being in Atlanta, we going to MetLife Stadium in New Jersey.
Well, they have a shootout. The other team got to score, Darnell.
Eli Manning, Drew Brees. The last time these two shared the field together in MetLife Field, it was a shootout. I don't bet against Brees in shootouts.
I've been against Brees in this game regardless.
Coach T?
Yeah, I really don't like this game either. But, let's talk about it real quick. You got Drew Brees last week, man, coming off this phenomenal, win over the Atlanta Falcons. He threw for almost 400 yards, 396 to be exact. 3 touchdowns and 2 rushing touchdowns. Wait, when did he get 2 rushing touchdowns? Well, let's count.
That damn rule.
Let's count. There's 1 for the missed tackle and then 1 for the over the top in overtime. God darn rushing, god dang Drew Brees. So,
that rule 2 years ago, ain't no way in hell Drew Brees has multiple rushing touchdowns in a season.
Oh my goodness.
Much less,
Alvin Kamara, man, they couldn't stop Alvin Kamara last week. The Giants, however, got a better, stronger defense than what the Falcons necessarily supposed to have. I'll give them that much credit. So, Kamara, 66 yards, no touchdowns. We just gonna be put to the test. However, Drew Brees keeps spreading that ball around everybody. Michael Thomas, Ted Ginn, Meredith. These guys, man, Thomas put 129 yards up. Ginn and Meredith both got a touchdown. I mean, the boy Drew Brees, he know what to do to spread the ball around. Now, we talk about the Giants. Eli ain't spreading the ball around too much. In fact, he is running from his life every other play. Odell Beckham still has not seen the end zone this year, okay? Barkley, he rushed for 82 yards and touchdown. He's starting to be definitely consistent. You want to see more out of him. But I'm wanting more out of the Giants. Even though the Saints got more on them on a positive side and are more like to win, I'm saying it's a hard home game for Giants. They're going to have to come up. If they want any type of contention in the postseason, they got to win this game right here. So I'm going to go to Giants for the W.
What other place to be on a Sunday night than Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania? Now, some of y'all might be saying, why do I care? Because it's games like this on Sunday Night Football Coach C loves to watch. I love to watch. Dallas love to watch.
Mm-hmm.
When we're not focused on our team and we want a good game to look at, what better way to look at Sunday Night Football with the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Mm-hmm.
Talk about a rivalry that is interesting. They don't get no better than this one. Coach T, I'm going to let you go ahead.
Oh, man, get this one over with because, like I said, man, the Baltimore Ravens is not the pick for the postseason, okay? You want to go on and get them guys out of here. Pittsburgh's going to win this. Joey Flacco went out there last week and threw 277 yards of touchdown, but the man is struggling. If it wasn't for Alex Collins out there, running his heart out, giving it all he got 68 yards out of 18 attempts and a touchdown. Michael Crabtree, he's trying his best to spread the ball around to the Marcus Crabtree, John Brown, and Willie Snead. He got some talent, but Flacco just seemed like he's fading off. And I know the fans is definitely wanting Lamar Jackson. So I see Flacco definitely struggling in this game. Big Ben, Pittsburgh Steelers, they definitely want this win a whole lot more. Ben went out there, threw for 353 yards last week. Connor's still out there. Juju is his number one receiver. And the craziest stiff arm by ever, they keep reposting it with Vance McDonald, the power, the strength. You know what I'm saying? Vance McDonald, man. That was an amazing play with that stiff arm there. So, I'm going Pittsburgh on this one. I said Baltimore will lose some more divisional games. I believe Cleveland's going to definitely get Baltimore, the best of Baltimore, here in a little bit, for a few weeks too. So Pittsburgh to beat Baltimore.
Pittsburgh.
Yep. I mean, say what you will. This rivalry is one of the best rivalries in the NFL, but these teams are not what we think of when we think Ravens Steelers. Like, the Ravens teams of old, like, they are literally completely gone. I think even all the way down to Jacoby Ford is gone. Joe Flacco is literally the only one from those old Raven teams that is still around. And then the Steelers aren't even the Steelers anymore. Now they're an elite passing team. You know, even with Le'Veon Bell gone, they still have an offense that can light it up and put up points throughout the air and balance it out on the ground. So, I mean, because Pittsburgh can do something at an elite level, you have to pick them in games like this when they're going to get the team where it's like, what are the Ravens? Are they a defensive team right now? Are they a running team right now? Are they a ball control team? Like, what are the Ravens? We don't know what they are, but we know that the Steelers have just had like 3 weeks in a row where they're going to overtime and having shootouts and stuff. They can play offense. That'll be enough to win the game because they can do something well.
Coach T.
Yes, sir.
Your homie is on Monday Night Football this time.
Absolutely, man. I keep giving it to him, man, because that guy deserves to be the top number one fantasy player of the week for 3 weeks running for my homies, Patrick Mahomes, man. That boy good. I'm trying to tell you, man. He went out there again and threw for 314 yards, man, 3 touchdowns. He has not, I repeat, he has not thrown an interception, none this season. That boy is good. He has a total of 13 touchdowns for the season. Who else is out there doing numbers like that? That boy's breaking records, man. Tyreek Hill, he had 2 receptions, little 51 yards. Sammy Watkins finally showed up with a touchdown, 55 yards. Come on, man. Chris Conley even got a little touchdown in there. Creed, 44 yards, 2 touchdowns. Come on, man. Travis Kelce, my man, my brother, Kelsey, he had 114 yards. Man, Andy Reid, man, I'm about to go buy me a Patrick Mahomes jersey right now. I'm trying to tell you, okay? That's how much I love this boy. Man, I'm going KC all day, man. I ain't even got to talk about Denver because Denver's slacking. Case Keenum.
It is, right?
Yeah, I do love the 2 running backs with Denver got, with Philip Lindsay. Philip Lindsay got ejected last week. Well, you know what I'm saying, for fighting or punching in the bottom on a scuffle pile. I mean, that was bull crap with these refs. But I still love like Royce Freeman. He's still doing his thing. Manuel Sanders, Marius Thomas. I do like Denver Broncos, but not on this matchup right here. I don't like Denver Broncos. KC all day.
Are you a Chiefs fan or not?
Man, I don't know, man.
So, Dallas, you heard all this, right?
I'm an Andy Reid fan.
We hear Coach T. Insert Von Miller. Insert Bradley Chubb. Has Patrick Mahomes faced a pass rush like this yet?
No.
Good point.
And there's 3 weeks of film on him now, man. Like, this is all well and good when the boy ain't got no film on him. But as the season goes along, the defensive coordinators, the head coaches, like, they're going to figure out ways not to stop him, but to contain him. We look at another quarterback that was electrifying and that was doing stuff that we had never seen before. His name was Michael Vick. You weren't going to stop Michael Vick. You just had to contain him enough to win the game. As the season goes along, Kansas City is another team where it's like, we know they're not going 16-0. So where are those 3 or 4 losses going to start coming from? It might not come this week. I don't expect it to come this week. But when more film becomes available on Patrick Mahomes, all this is going to stop. 13 touchdowns, no picks. First year taking real snaps. Oh, dude, that ain't about to keep going. Dude's on pace for like 60-something touchdowns.
Kansas City has weapons galore. They have weapons. And they really got so many toys he can play with. It's ridiculous. But never face a pass rush like this. It ain't one side you got to worry about. It's both sides you got to worry about. And then let's flip it over to the Kansas City defensive side. How much faith do you have in Kansas City defense?
They're pretty strong. I definitely do like Kansas City defense. If you go back and look at the numbers, pull it up here. Kansas City defense definitely has been making record-breaking charts. Let's go.
Now, that remind me, when you go to Denver, what's the problem with going to Denver?
It's hard to breathe, bro.
All right.
So your first divisional matchup was in sunny California.
Mm-hmm.
Where nothing goes wrong in California.
Great running weather. You got a high-flying passing offense going up in that thin altitude? Oh, Jesus.
You got to run. Was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in September. Now, Titus, I'm not from Pennsylvania. You are. In September, ain't the weather's pretty, fine in Pennsylvania in September?
Man, it started to get nice and cool around this time, man. Like I said, man, I've been watching the weather pattern over this next week coming up. We got some nice cold weather coming down from the top, Canada, and coming down that way right now. So there's it's going to be some affected games. Some good weather is going to be affecting some of these games up north this week.
But now you're going to Denver on a Monday night game.
The license is going to be on them, man. You're right. The license is going to be on them.
Your first primetime game. At that. I hate to do this. I really do. But what happened last week to Denver is not going to happen Monday night. Phil Wilson getting ejected, it showed it hurt Denver. It's not going to happen. The Broncos, something about Monday, that isn't me, but something about Monday night and Denver go together, right?
It just makes sense.
I'm picking Denver. It's Monday Night Football and you in Denver.
Case Keenum's done it before. Case Keenum did it last year. Stable, strong starting quarterback. Probably won't lose you the game, but he is going to air it out every once in a while. And you got a pass rush to help you out. You got DNs on both sides of the ball. I think that's where teams playing Kansas City so far kind of messed up. Von Miller's had his stats. He has his money. He ain't trying to go out there and be a hero. Bradley Chubb, still young, but that Denver Broncos defense for years now. With those bracketed defensive ends in that scheme, you tell Von and Chubb to play contain, that's going to help a lot against Patrick Mahomes. We know he can throw, but you have to make sure he's just throwing. He might still beat you, but you got to limit him as much as possible. Because once the contain is set, then you can start collapsing the pocket. And once you can get to him, maybe you got a shot. Because it's like you said earlier, Darnell, he hasn't played a divisional opponent with a defense like this. And if you're a team with 2 potential franchise defensive ends, you're going to win a lot more games than you're supposed to.
That's it. That's all I got. Coach is still in the league in picks.
Oh, yeah.
But I play back into it a bit.
Oh, yeah. Well, if you want to go over that real quick, last week total, I guess I did win last week with the pick of 10-6. Dallas, you had a pick of 7-9, and Darnell, you had a pick of 9-7.
So
that brings the season total to me leading it 28-18, Dallas at 24-22, and Darnell at 24-22.
Don't call it a comeback.
For you guys.
All I'm saying is don't call it a comeback.
Hey, man, it's hard for me. Once I start rolling, bro, I don't go down. I don't start losing games. I pick smart. That's why every week I've been getting myself creeping up. I've been number one from the jump. But every week I'm still creeping up. I'm spreading that leaving that gap, making that gap.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, as we get ready to close, Coach T, we gonna do something a little bit different.
All right.
If there's a sleeper pick out there for fantasy, what do the people go get off the waiver wire?
Ooh. Well, I got three. I got three guys on my pick'em list. My top 3 pick'ems this week. And you need to go pick up. Number 1. Even though you might have a quarterback situation in some leagues, if you got an opportunity, go ahead and pick up Josh Allen. You're going to have to go to Green Bay and perform or do something. Give him the chance. Take a chance on him, Josh Allen. Number 2, sleeper pickup. Go on and pick up Sony Michel. Look like New England is starting to give him a little bit more courage with the ball. I like what I did see with him this past week, even though New England did lose. Pick up Sony Michel. And for number 3, my wide receiver pick, good old Ryan Swisher Sweets, Pittsburgh wide receiver. Go and pick up Ryan Swisher real quick. Looking like Big Ben is trying to move the ball and give him a shot. He's definitely a slot receiver type guy. So look for more of him in the future. My sit-ems, my quarterback, you need to go and sit Joey Flacco this week. That boy ain't going to do nothing. Against the Pittsburgh defense on a Sunday night, nah, sit Joey Flacco. Matt Breida, go on and sit Matt Breida. Even though he has been the leading rushing running back this season, he is suffering right now with injury. Sit Matt Breida. And Enunwa. Go on and sit Quincy Enunwa. This week against the Jets in Jacksonville on the road is not necessarily a healthy decision against that defense. Sit that guy. And my top 3 fantasy picks, number 3 goes to Baker Mayfield. Absolutely. He came back from a second half deficit and brought the Cleveland Browns to their to their first victory in over 630 some odd days. Congratulations, Baker Mayfield. 201 yards. Number 2, Calvin Ridley. Whoa. 7 receptions for 146 yards. 3 touchdowns. That rookie is good. Better watch out, Julio. Might find your replacement. And of course, I don't say it, but I'm going to say it again. My number 1 top fantasy pick of the week is Patrick McHolmes. Absolutely, man. Like I said, that boy has scored 13 total touchdowns this season. He went out last week and threw for 314 yards and 3 touchdowns on that. Hey, man, if you don't have him in your starting lineup, you must be a fool with your pants on the ground. That's my coach's tip for this week. I'm Coach T.
And there you have it. That's Coach T. Dallas, anything from wrestling?
Oh, tomorrow we're going to talk about the Super Showdown. Things are definitely more solid now. Yeah, bruh. WWE just turned in the highest share it's ever had all time on this New York Stock Exchange. So, I mean, again, they're doing something right. Me and Darnell just don't know what it is, but they're doing something right.
Don't forget tomorrow, we talking college. We got a lot of games to get into.
Got a lot of scenarios to get into, too.
But, hey, Ohio State, Penn State, Stanford,
big game.
Notre Dame.
Big game.
We catch y'all tomorrow.
Later.
All right.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.